Enjoyment unlimited.
Top of the morning to you this morning. This is Carnival Radio Breakfast Show newspaper review segment, and I am Elizabeth Tessie Okemukoko. So this morning, as usual, we'll bring you newspaper headlines from the Punch newspaper, the Vanguard newspaper, the Nation newspaper, and the Daily Post newspaper. We have headlines such as 108 Ogun residents arrested, persecuted for indiscriminate waste disposal. That is from the Daily Post newspaper. And from the Punch newspaper, we have that federal government warns of possible flooding in 10 states. That is coming from the Punch newspaper. And from the Vanguard, we have that final year student allegedly tortures colleague to death over provisions. And also from the Nation newspaper, we have a news with the headline, Medicine dealers seek collaboration to fight malaria. So now we dive into these news stories in details. The federal government is warned that several locations across 10 states may experience heavy rainfall, potentially leading to flooding between April 8 and April 12, 2026. The warning was issued by National Flood Early Warning Center of the Federal Ministry of Environment in a flooding prediction notice dated April 8, 2026 and signed by the Director of the Erosion, Flood and Coastal Zone Management Department, Usman Bokani. According to the ministry, communities in Ebonyi, Anambra, Ogun, Taraba, Cross River, Benue, Imo, Delta, Rivers, and Abia states are among the areas likely to experience heavy rainfall that may trigger flooding during the period. The ministry stated that in Ebonyi State, Afikpo, Ngalagu may be affected, while in Anambra State, Atani, Iyowa, Idope, and Onisha were listed. The Lagos State government has urged residents. The ministry also urged relevant stakeholders to take precaution measures in order to curb this flooding and to avert any casualties. This news was sourced from the Punch newspaper. Federal government warns of possible flooding in 10 states. to move on to another one from the Vanguard newspaper that says ADC lists 6-point demands at INEC protests. And there's the leaders and members of African Democratic Congress ADC joined a large demonstration in Abuja yesterday, protesting decisions of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), which they said undermined democracy and the party's internal leadership. The protest, which was tagged Occupy INEC, drew former presidential candidates and prominent politicians, including ADC leader and former Senate President, Senator David Mark, and former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, to Matami roundabout. The demonstration saw participants singing Nigeria's former national anthem, Arise, O Compatriots, despite the fact that it was replaced on May 29, 2024 by President Bola Tinubu with the country's 1960 independence anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee. Several demonstrators also held placards supporting Senator David Mark, including ones that read, "In David Mark's NVC we trust." Addressing the protest, 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi spoke on behalf of ADC members and other opposition leaders, urging Nigerians to defend the country's democracy. The protest followed INEC's recent decision to accept correspondence from either factions of the ADC led by Senator David Mark or Nafiu Bala Gombe after a court appeal on the party's leadership dispute. This news to source from the Vanguard newspaper. ADC lists 6-point demands at INEC protests. Now we'll move on to the Daily Post newspaper. The Oyo State Waste Management Authority has arrested and prosecuted 108 residents in Abeokuta for the indiscriminate dumping of waste products. The offenders were apprehended while dumping refuse on roadside, public places, and on medians in different parts of the state capital. Speaking on the arrest, the special advisor to the governor on OG WAMA, Farouk Akintunde, said the waste offenders have been prosecuted in different customary courts in the state and fined to serve as a deterrent to others. He lamented that despite the government's efforts at picking up waste from residents' doorstep, they are still in the habit of dumping waste in inappropriate places, thereby defacing the artistic beauty of the environment and the state capital. This news was sourced from the Daily Post newspaper. 108 Ogun residents arrested, prosecuted for indiscriminate waste disposal. Alright, now we take another one from the Nation newspaper. The Nigerian Association of Patent Proprietary Medicine Dealers in Lagos is seeking collaboration with pharmaceutical companies and others to minimize malaria in the country. The president, Silvanus Onoha, spoke with the media to herald World Malaria Day, As part of activities to mark the day on April 28th, the body will host an event to foster partnership to stop malaria. Ono has said the essence of the day is to bring malaria to the attention of the world, as she noted that it is devastatingly affecting the population and needed and much is needed to curb the menace. Public Relations Officer Chinedu Elua noted that World Malaria Day is observed in recognition of the danger posed by malaria. As she noted that malaria scourge has led to the death of millions of children and adults worldwide. This news was sourced from the Nation newspaper. Medicine dealers seek collaboration to fight malaria. Okay, lastly, we will take this news from the Vanguard newspaper with the headline: Final year student allegedly tortures colleague to death over provisions. Tensions has gripped federal government college Ikot Ikpene in Akwa Ibom State after a 12-year-old J2 student, Edwin Godwin, died following alleged bullying by a senior student over his refusal to share provisions. Newsmen gathered that the incident, which began before the Easter break, led to the deceased being hospitalized on Easter Sunday for a neck sprain sustained injury during the alleged torture. Narrating the incident in Oyo yesterday, a student who lived in the same hostel with the deceased said the senior student approached him for provisions during terminal examination, but the deceased refused, insisting that he didn't have enough to share. The student, who pleaded not to be mentioned, said the seniors descended on the deceased, hitting the neck with a fainted tree three times before the other students raised the alarm for his rescue. When contacted, the police public relations officer, Tifyong John, promised to confirm the incident but had not yet responded as at press time. However, the principal of the school, Mr. Jude Oziegu, who confirmed the incident, described it as unfortunate. That news was sourced from the Vanguard newspaper. Final year students allegedly tortures colleague to death over provisions. And this is where we call it a wrap on the program this morning. Newspaper review segment of Carnival Breakfast Show. Do not forget that you can always stay informed and updated with the latest information and news around the globe by checking out our website at www.carnivalmedia.ng. Once again, I am Elizabeth Tessie Okemugoko. Do have a very beautiful day.